Dawgs podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, John Nye, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs podcast presented by Omaha Steaks. Coming to you virtual today. Josh had some stuff going on, so we brought our good friend Kenny Mack in. We can't get enough Kenny Mack this week.
What is up, guys? What is up?
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
We just been hanging out with Kenny all week since Thursday.
I just got out of my car and I'm right back in it.
Yeah. Before we jump into today's episode, though, remember, if you want to get your intros or voicemails on the show, head to thedawgspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. We're going to get into how we spent Hall of Fame weekend. It was a good time for all of us. We're going to talk about this NFL 100 list, and then Stefanski came out and said starters. We're going to play some in the preseason game coming up. So we're going to dive into all that. Before we do, though, I remind you guys to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Lastly, if you're looking for more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. Fantasy signups are going on right now. I believe we need 6 more players to have 4 10-team leagues. So the cutoff is going to be, I believe, August 20th, something like that. Me and Josh were talking, or once we get these 6 people. So if you want to play fantasy with us, don't wait, because if you're the 41st person, we're going to have to say no, because we won't have enough to do a whole nother league that way. So we're going to have to cap it at 40 people this year, 4 10-team leagues. So if you're interested in playing fantasy with us, if you want an extra episode every week, if you want access to the private Discord, a lot of cool stuff going on in there. Kenny Mack's a part of it. He enjoys it. At least I hope he does. So it's a good time for everybody, especially now that football season's right around the corner. The Discord already goes off, and just for a preseason game the other night, the Hall of Fame game, it was nonstop. So if you're one of those people who you want to talk about every play call during a game and that kind of thing, the Discord's for you. So join thedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. That's a good time for everybody. So if you follow us on social media, you already know this. If you don't, I don't know what you're waiting for. But this past weekend was Hall of Fame weekend. Joe Thomas got inducted into the Hall of Fame, first ballot, unanimous. We were lucky enough to Friday. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. We got to go to the Gold Jacket ceremony. Saturday, we got to go up to enshrinement. We had media rights to the enshrinement. We were down. I was up in the press box. Like, it was pretty freaking cool. We just wanted to just kind of like talk about that weekend. If you haven't been, I would say we live 20 minutes from the Hall of Fame, the 3 of us. Kenny obviously is a little bit further. But I almost take for granted that we live 20 minutes from the Hall of Fame. I haven't been there since I was in the 7th grade. I never had paid too much attention to Hall of Fame weekend even. I didn't even know what a Gold Jacket dinner was until we got the chance to go, that kind of thing. If you're a football fan, and especially if you're pretty diehard, that Gold Jacket dinner is awesome. Like,
it doesn't hurt that Joe Thomas was getting in too.
Yeah, that didn't hurt. But I mean,
Didn't hurt sitting next to Joe Hayden either.
Yeah, I mean, we were rubbing elbows with Joe. I bumped him on breaking my bread. I mean, Mike Tomlin walked right by. Rondé Barber was within arm reach. It was an experience. It was very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I even got to run into Alex Mack. He was a cool dude. Man, the guy dresses, and he's clearly slimmed down since he played, and he's way bigger than I am. I'm looking up to it, and most people I work with, they're like, "Are you seriously looking up to that dude?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a big man."
He was not little. I think we got to tell the story about how we saw Alex Mack. So we're at the Civic Center, and he goes walking by, and I was eagle-eyed spotting players all night, and I was like, "Hey guys, that's Alex Mack." And Kenny's like, was it really? And I'm like, well, you should probably ask him if you're going to talk to him, because I'm pretty sure it's him, but all these guys lose a lot of weight. They shave their beards. Kenny just goes up to him. What'd you say to him?
I just said, "Hey man, are you Alex Mack?" And he goes, "Well, yes, I am." I said, "Well, I'm Kenny from Ottawa, and I came to see it." He's like, "Ottawa?" He goes, "Man, I didn't come that far."
No, but I thought that was super funny. He was cool. Everybody, Joe Hayden's like the nicest dude I ever met. He was super nice. Shook my hand, took pictures with all of us. He was awesome to hang out with. And then I thought that like when they're announcing all the old players coming out and they're like playing the music and Dan Fouts is announcing all of them and they're coming up on the stage or whatever, I was like, this is awesome.
It was really, really cool to see who all came back. I mean, Peyton Manning was in the house, Terrell Davis, the boss, Jerome Bettis. There's so many big names. We're on Dak too, you know.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I really love football. I'm almost getting emotional watching this.
Yep. I really thought I might. I was like, I'm going to get choked up watching Joe Thomas put that jacket on, but I maintained my composure. I was so bad about the drunk dude yelling next to me that
oh my God. Poor Rich Eisen.
Yeah.
But I love
Section 12
State as much as the next person. But man, we had this drunk guy right beside us, and he was just yelling our section number, and Rich Eisen's just trying to announce players, and I'm like, my God, please just shut. My brother was with me, and he was like, I'm going to go just drag this guy out of here.
Yeah, I was pretty close to it, man. I was pretty close to it.
But I mean, that's what, when you get a ticket there, they give you free drinks. So that's what happens. You can give free drinks out for an hour plus in Canton. That's what you're going to get.
What did we have? We had 8 people per table. You got 2 bottles of wine. We didn't even touch ours. I think that guy got on all the tables.
Yeah. Seeing Peyton Manning was really cool. And just the experience in general, like, if you
I like seeing Peyton Manning. Should we go over who gave the actual gold jacket?
Yeah, what'd you guys think of that? So for anybody who doesn't know, the players, when they got their gold jacket, they pick another Hall of Famer to take off their coat and put the Hall of Fame jacket on them. So like some people would use like people they played with, their friends, and that kind of thing. Joe Thomas had his jacket put on by Jerome Bettis. What did you think of that?
Interesting. The big B rival. I will say, I don't like the organization. Obviously, they're a huge rival. I got no issue with Jerome Bettis. I love his entire football story. So I didn't have, it's not like I was mad about it or anything. Obviously, Joe Thomas felt some sort of inspiration there.
Did we ever get like a reasoning to like why he picked Jerome Bettis?
I don't know if anybody's asked him. Does Jerome Bettis work for NFL Network?
I don't think so.
The only thing I could think is if they worked together now in retirement and like had grown close.
Same agent, maybe.
I don't
know.
I know Joe Thomas played like running back in like middle school and stuff like that. So I didn't know if like maybe he was like a player that he kind of like was inspired by. I know eventually he'd be, he was not a running back, but maybe as a kid he was inspired because he was a good player. He was a great player. I mean, a Hall of Famer.
So that was interesting. I had a guy at work tell me, he was like, that kind of made me mad, and I was just like, it's his night.
Yeah, bro.
It's his night. He can do whatever he wants. He's not the Hall of Fame. It's not for us. It's for him. He's the one who earned it. He can do whatever he wants. So super cool weekend. And then Justin had media rights to the parade, and he was like basically in these people's cars.
Yeah, I just cleaned up, man. I went in there with a plan. We got downtown. I was trying to link up with Kenny Mack and Josh, and basically all weekend I didn't have service. As soon as I would get to an event, it would just immediately go SOS, and it was terrible. Yeah, so I came up with a plan. I said, you know what? I know this area. I've done this parade and stuff before. I'm just going to go to the beginning of the route, just camp on it and just see what happens. I was like, and see what this meteorite stuff gets me. I did. I walked right to the line where they're lining up the players with the cars. And then I eventually walked to the hotel where they're loading them into the cars. But it was sweet, man. Got to talk to Peyton Manning, got to talk to Isaac Bruce, Fouts, basically anybody that I took a picture of. They sat in front of me for like 2 to 3 minutes, and I was just like, hey, what's going on? Like, congratulations, welcome back to Canton. I'm just hitting with all the lines. I talked to Joe for maybe 5 seconds, but he was the front car when I got there. He was getting ready to, enter the parade, and Joe Hayden walked up and interviewed him while I was standing there. But yeah, I basically just told him, hey, congratulations, man, you're a legend. Really excited for you, and go have a good day. And it was cool. Great experience. Very awesome.
I think we owe it to you guys, the people listening, for kind of like how cool this weekend was. Like, because we don't get media rights to this kind of thing and stuff if you guys don't listen. So we appreciate everybody who listens to the show and who supports the show, whether it be just through watching, commenting, joining the dog pack, becoming a YouTube member, all that good stuff. Everything you've done has helped us grow. It kind of like every time we do something cool, I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. And then we get to top it somehow. And I'm like, I don't know how much further we're going to get to go, but we're going to go as far as you guys will take us. So we appreciate you guys listening, supporting the show. We were just a couple dudes who got bored during COVID and like to talk about the Browns. And next thing I know, I'm in a suit eating dinner with Joe Hayden. So it was pretty awesome. We appreciate everybody listening to the show.
Attention Browns fans in Ohio, we have an unbeatable NFL preseason offer for you from Caesars Sportsbook. New customers can get their first bet insured up to $1,250 by using our code DAWGSFULL while signing up. Not only will your first bet be completely insured, but you'll also be directly supporting the podcast. Isn't that great? So if you have not already joined the Caesars Sportsbook community, now is the perfect time to make your move. Just remember to use our code DAWGSFULL during sign up and place that first bet. This offer is only available for new customers who are 21 and older and are physically present in Ohio. Please gamble responsibly. If you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Check the episode description for the full terms of the offer.
That was our weekend. If anybody listening was at Hall of Fame weekend and you had a chance to check it out, stop in the comments. Let us know what your favorite part was. Let us know what you guys thought about Joe Thomas' speech. I thought his speech was the best one I've ever done.
It was really good.
He crushed his career, man. He doesn't do wrong, that dude. He's awesome.
Yeah. So
we didn't bring it up yet. 3 of us got to meet Doug Deacon as well, which was a huge highlight.
Yes.
Your boy, man, he was awesome. We were with the same Alex Mack thing. I just said, hey, because you never know, right? And he goes, hey, are you Doug Deacon? He goes, why, yes, I am. I said, dude, I love the way you call games. You are a straight shooter. And he told us a story about how he was a straight shooter. The player heard it, and they got into it a little bit after the game.
Yeah, super nice guy, like super down to earth, very nice person.
I love Doug Deacon. I would love to meet Jim Donovan too. Doug Deacon was a sweet player.
Yeah. And then Kenny had to one-up us on a Sunday and meet somebody else in Cleveland.
I got to meet Josh Cribbs. He was signing autographs, and I got 2 autographs, both for the bar. They're for my Browns backers. I'm going to raffle them off because I actually already have his autograph. So, that was awesome. He's a good dude.
It was, Justin and I got a picture with Jason Garrett. So, I mean, I was just like, he was just walking by, and I was just like, oh, hey, coach, you want to get a picture?
Yeah. I'm making a lot of room. In my house. I've been taking my kids' pictures off the wall and printing out a lot of pictures down at the local kiosk. Me and Blake are taking over the house. Just random NFL coaches with your boys.
So it was a cool weekend. It was a very, very cool experience. So we appreciate everybody who watches the show and help us get to that point. So I wanted to talk then about Stefanski coming out today saying starters, pretty much all the starters are going to play in the game. I didn't get to read. I don't know if anybody is ruled out. I kind of like, I don't really want Cooper or Elijah Moore or Nick Chubb to really play, but I know he said Deshaun's going to play a series, maybe 2. They're going to kind of feel it out. One that has me really excited for Friday to see the starters play a little bit. Hopefully it goes better than Deshaun's preseason debut last year, like 3 plays or something. Hopefully, I'd like to see a touchdown drive. But what do you guys make of that? Are you surprised that they're playing a little bit in this first game?
I am surprised. I'm surprised, but I'm not really nervous. I mean, I feel like if you get hurt in your one series that you play in the preseason, you were probably going to get hurt the regular season too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I never looked at it like that. What were you gonna say, Kenny?
No, they play football. They got to get after and get those dings in. The other thing is about Deshaun Watson last year. Just don't pass to Schwartz 3 times. Well, we have to worry about them being on the same time, right?
Yeah, I know like Jerome Ford's out with his injury. So I mean, if Chubb doesn't play, it's gonna be a lot of John Kelly again. I'm guessing a lot of that.
All right with that.
How impressed were you guys with John Kelly and Felton in the first?
Extremely. Especially Felton. I came away. So there was obvious ones like DTR. I feel like there's obvious guys, but like my takeaway from that game was, hey, they let that guy get a little bit of run, and I thought he looked great. I know it's a preseason game, and at the end of the day, guys look good. I mean, hell, Zach Wilson looked great in preseason. He looked like he was going to be all worldly, and then regular season starts and people come back to earth. Real talent, real great talent is on the field. But I can.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good, brother. Go ahead.
I said our run game looked like it should. They had like what per yard, but everybody had a good average per yards, right? And even like what's Hassan's last name?
Is it Hall?
Hassan Hall. He had a great game. Like, so I'm not worried about Ford missing some time. Get healthy, man. I hope you do have a great season. But we got some guys that can last this preseason for sure.
I heard somebody say something about Darrell Henderson being the guy that the Browns signed. Do you see him signing somebody now in short term until Ford comes back? Or we talked to Coach Mitchell. We know how high they are on John Kelly. Do you think they just roll with John Kelly?
Well, they just cut what was it, Nate McCreary?
Yeah.
He was basically so to me that just says we're comfortable with the room. I mean, don't get me wrong, if there's some depth and you could, I know Kareem's still bouncing around. There's guys out there that we could bring in, but like to me, it just says, hey, we're kind of comfortable with the room. We just gotta let these guys get healthy. We're gonna be okay.
I agree. I think John Kelly has shown that when he gets the run, he's good. We know Stump Mitchell's high on him. I thought Felton looked crazy good in that preseason game, and on that play where DTR threw that block to Springer for the touchdown, everybody's talking about the block. Nobody's talking about the cut Felton made.
Right.
Back to the outside. I mean, that was super nice. I feel like Felton, he made it interesting. I feel like he was kind of maybe on the outside looking in. He's going to make them think about it because we saw when he was a rookie and in the preseason when he touched the ball, he looked explosive. Like we were like, man, every time Felton gets the ball, he does something sweet with it, and then never did anything in the regular season. It's kind of tough to even get touches when you got he's kind of if he's going to play receiver, he's in the slot. Well, we had Jarvis. Then if he's going to play running back, we had Chubb and Hunt. So there just hasn't been a ton of opportunity for him. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks throughout to continue to look throughout the preseason. What do you think about, what do you want to see out of the offense in terms of, one, do you want to see guys like Amari Cooper work, or you don't want to put them out there right now? And then, if they're 3 and out on the first series, do you run them back out for a second series?
I don't think Coop's going to play. I thought he was kind of slightly banged up. I think all the other guys do. I just want to see some more downfield passing. Like clearly these guys, third and fourth string, maybe some fifths, they're just going to pass to the running backs. So I just want to see a little bit more one-on-one slants and that kind of thing that DTR did.
I thought the offense was anemic at best when Kellen Mond last week with the starters, and I was like, well, we're not going to show too much of this new spread open offense, in the whole game. And then 2, I think part of that is he just looked lost. So I don't know if it was so much as being vanilla or if it was just like, I don't know if he had any idea what was going on. He looked like he was scared almost. So maybe a combination of both. I would like this. I'm not saying we need to empty the playbook here, but let's kind of like, let's get after it a little bit for a series or two and kind of see what we're going to be looking at this season, because even though like Deshaun had his 6 games last year and he's had this entire offseason, we're still kind of morphing the offense to be more around him, and we need timing and that kind of stuff. So I think it's important he gets out there for a series or two, and hopefully they score a touchdown. If they march right on the field, score a touchdown, I'll feel pretty good.
I think too, like, all I want to see coming out of this offense, like going into the game, I just want to see like good timing. I want to see like game speed timing is good, because you're not going to see, like you touched on it, Blake, the playbook is going to be super basic, vanilla. So I'm not expecting to see anything super explosive. So for me, I'm just, hey, our guys on the same page. Hey, how are we lining up? Are the snap counts good? Just the little basic things. You know what I mean? But I think Friday could be very, very fun, like preseason game to go up to. It's going to be a night game. I'm hoping they kind of, shut the lights off and everything and test them out, test the Monday night stuff out.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what Washington does. Are they going to struggle with a new offense? Because like that Eric the Enemy stuff, I don't think you just pick that up right away. Like that's going to be tough for a second-year quarterback, right?
Yeah, I mean, and who knows what they have and how? I mean, you know what I mean? Right. Jacoby Brissett's there now, right?
Yeah. Correct.
So, I mean, it's like Eric Bieniemy didn't even call plays in Kansas City, so we don't even 100% know how good you know what I mean? Like he knows Andy Reid's offense, but we don't know what his game flow is like, and that, I mean, it's kind of like going to be a learning experience for everybody in Washington. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying, I mean, it's going to be new to everybody. I have heard that I just heard a thing that Commanders players have gone to Ron Rivera about how intense Eric Bieniemy is. I'm just like,
dude, I was hoping you were going to talk about this, man, because I think why would Ron Rivera talk about this to the media like that? I feel like that's very in-house, and to the players. Bro, you're in the NFL. He's your coach. If he's tough on you, you're not doing good enough. Get better. What are we tolerating out here?
Is it the generation that got exactly the article that I got right in front of me was what you're saying, Justin. It's basically like, what was he doing? You don't call your coach out like that. So yeah,
and your first year guy, he just got there. You brought him in, you sold him on the culture, hired him, brought him in, and then you're airing out to the media and talking about at the press day that players have come and talked to him about, or talked to you about how he's too intense and too tough in football. Okay, as a coach, I can see it as another player and he was laying your ass out every play, and you didn't want to get hurt. Maybe you pull the coach aside and say, hey, 77's going a little too intense here. I'm worried about my knee. No, it's the coach. The coach is too tough.
I feel like it's the NFL too. Like there's so many restrictions on like what they can make you do in practice and stuff anymore. Like, so I
don't even know the rules anymore.
You just can't handle him being a little bit mean. Like, my high school football coach was super mean. You know what I mean? Like
my middle school coaches were tough and said things to me that I wouldn't say in a small room of people. And I was like, in fifth grade, sixth grade. What are we talking about? This? I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong here, but
I don't. I don't.
Okay.
But I know Kenny and Josh they did a live with you guys after this past game. So they kind of touched on some of the highlights and stuff, but I kind of want to take a minute and ask Justin and John, and we can talk to you too, Kenny. What did you think what was the most impressive thing you took away from that game? Because I thought there was a ton of bright spots for the Browns in that Hall of Fame game.
For me, it was Felton all day. I kind of almost was getting to the point where I was worried that he was never going to get the chance to even show what we thought he had, because we knew he was explosive. We knew he was electric. And a guy in space, he can make things happen, and he just never got the run. So for me, that was the big takeaway. I thought he looked great. I mean, Chip Kelly, same thing. DTR looked great. There was a lot of bright spots for pretty much a meaningless preseason game.
I think of the two biggest things that, at least on the offensive side of the ball, that I took away is Cedric Tillman looks really freaking good.
Yep.
Yeah. He looks very big and very fast. Like in camp, he looks like I was like, holy cow, this guy might end up being a steal, like a hardcore steal. And then I thought DeJuan Jones was awesome. You gotta give some offensive line.
He can move. Holy.
I
big.
I was, if I can find it real quick, I read this to Josh when we were up at the Hall of Fame on Saturday. The game he put together, he didn't lose a single rep on 40 snaps in pass protection while facing Bryce Huff, who's the 2022 leader in pass rush win rate, Jermaine Johnson, who's a first rounder, and Will McDonald, who's a first rounder. So he was going against two guys drafted in the first round, and Bryce Huff was like a very good situational pass rusher last year. Obviously, he led the league in pass rush win rate, and he didn't lose a single rep. I thought he looked dominant, and he didn't play against scrubs. You know, I mean, he wasn't facing TJ Watt, but he wasn't out there against practice squad players either, and he held his own more. He looked more than capable. So I was super impressed with him. I mean, if he's going to be that good, I mean, we could be talking like Jack Conklin's gone, even though we just, you know what I mean? We just extended him, I believe, but I mean, he looked very good. And could he play left tackle? Because who knows what we're getting out of Jed Wills.
Yeah. So sometimes switching people from right to left is proving difficult.
I agree.
You honestly, I had two names in mind and you took them both. But I'll try my best to just expand a bit. I think the wide receiver position is a position where you're going to see a lot of guys open, like Tillman, because people are going to be worried about Cooper more. There's going to be a lot of guys on the field. And I just think we're deep enough and talented enough at receiver. I mean, our number 3 is going to be better than their number 3 defensive back. So whoever we're playing. So we're going to have guys open. It's just exciting to see a guy like Tillman come in and look really competent as a route runner and obviously good with his hands too. With DeJuan Jones, I think the key thing is depth. I mean, last year, our offensive line was banged up, and now we got someone that can come in and play very well, you know, as far as we've seen. And he's just a big dude. Like, he's hard to push around, so.
He made, I think, who was the dude playing guard? Was it Drew Dunn or Blake Ford or Drew Forbes or something? I forget who was playing guard next to him.
It was, and the difference is what you're going to go over?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, look at him standing next to Dunn. Dunn 6'5", 315. He looked like a small running back standing next to the one. You know. I was like, he makes this guy look tiny. This guy's a huge man. So, I mean, to be that big and that athletic, and I mean, as long as he can keep his weight in check and he puts in the effort, I think the sky's the limit for that guy. He has a chance to be really freaking good. So,
I got a good one for you guys. I'm gonna ring this bell, and it's for Schwartz, man. Those guys, all the way that started the game to the end of the game, guess what they did? They freaking tackled, man, and guys sat down. Like, when did we see that all the way through a preseason game? I thought unless there was some slop at the end that I missed, but those guys tackled and people sat down, and I was super impressed with that. So we can see that next game. We got a good shot just to come out with a victory, I think, against Washington.
I know we give up the one deep pass when Zach Wilson was in, but other than that, no breakdowns in the secondary. There didn't seem to be any miscommunication. Like, I thought the run defense played pretty well. I was impressed with just like the overall professionalism, I guess I'll call it, on the defensive side of the ball. It was a nice change from what we've seen the last 3 years. I'm playing for a Joe Woods defense. But no, I thought it was a great first preseason game. I'm almost worried about the wide. Not worried. It's a good problem to have, but I think the Browns are going to have to end up cutting a guy or two who's good.
Yeah,
you know, like, yeah. I mean, if you're looking at wide receiver, you're looking at Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Then you're looking at Tillman's obviously going to make it. Who else?
I think if Goodwin's healthy, he's making it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Goodwin will be back. So how many do we keep? 6 or 7? Because you got Dave Bell, you got this Watkins guy who's starting to emerge in camp. We've been hearing a lot about him. He caught the touchdown in the Hall of Fame game. There's a couple guys that, I don't know. I guess it's a good problem to have. The Browns we're usually hoping our 7th round draft pick can come in and be a stud for us. So
yeah,
You know what I mean? I think there's going to be teams looking at who the Browns cut this year to potentially sign to their team, because for the first time in maybe our lives, the Browns have some depth. So it's a good problem to have. So, well, that's kind of what we're looking for in this next game. Super excited for it. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Are you excited to see the starters, or are you worried about the starters playing? What do you guys want to see out of the Browns this coming Friday night against the Commanders?
This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Guys, it takes a long time to master a craft, but the steak experts over at Omaha Steaks have spent more than a century doing exactly that. They have been America's original butcher since 1917, and right now, they're inviting you to celebrate their anniversary with 50% off site-wide. Head over to omahasteaks.com and enter Dawgs, D-A-W-G-S, into the search bar to shop all the exclusive anniversary packages. As an added bonus, just for our listeners, you get 8 free Omaha Steak burgers and 8 free gourmet jumbo franks with select packages, including their exclusive anniversary assortment package. This package is the perfect sampling of everything that makes Omaha Steaks unforgettable. It includes 4 butcher's cut filet mignons, 4 air-chilled boneless chicken breasts, 4 bacon-wrapped pork chops, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, and the classic Omaha Steak seasoning, plus you get those 8 free burgers and 8 free jumbo franks. You're going to want to hurry because this offer is only available for a limited time. Celebrate more than 100 years of incredible steaks and save 50% off site-wide during the Omaha Steaks anniversary sale. Visit omahasteaks.com right now, enter code DAWGS, D-A-W-G-S, into the search bar to shop exclusive anniversary packages. That's omahasteaks.com, keyword DAWGS in the search bar, 8 free steak burgers, 8 free jumbo franks. Hurry, get them now. See site for details.
All right, so just as we were in the middle of recording this episode, the Browns announced that they have signed defensive tackle Shelby Harris. He was a free, played for the Broncos. We talked about him on this show a few times. This is a big signing for the Browns, and we had a feeling the Browns would do something like this after releasing Perrion Winfrey. He played 15 games. He had 44 tackles and 2 sacks last year. He recorded a 73.3 overall grade with a 76.9 run defensive grade and a 60.7 pass rush grade. He's just a solid defensive tackle. We were talking, this guy he would have been the best defensive tackle on our team last year. Now we're putting him next to Tomlinson and Zadarius Smith on the edge. I mean, the defensive line went from the worst one in the league easily last year to this is one of the strengths of the team is going to be this front 5, front 7. Like, yeah, this is a great signing.
If you I can tell you, being at training camp on Sunday, like the defensive line was really close to me. I don't know if you saw that. I posted pictures of Darius, but I also posted a picture of Ika and Tomlinson. Those guys are bowling balls. They are going to be hard to move. It's going to be tough to run on this defense.
Especially this wide 9 of Jim Schwartz, putting these guys, keeping everything in the box. And then you got, big bodies like Tomlinson. I feel like the Ika draft pick is super under the radar. Like, people keep forgetting we drafted this dude. And I think he has a chance to be really good, especially against the run. The entire defense is about keeping everything inside the tackles, forcing everything up the middle into the teeth of the defense. This is just another defensive tackle that's going to help Myles Garrett, in the long run. He's going to help the run defense. Schwartz has got to be licking his chops because he came in, he took this job and said, listen, you want me to take this job and give me some tools. And the Browns have done just that. I love that we live in a time now where the Browns have needs and they address them and they go get players. It's not the Sashi Brown era anymore where we're just hoping Brian Rabisky and Muhammad Massaquoi can carry us to 3 or 4 wins. What a time to be alive. I know it's still on paper and we got to go out on the field and do it, but I'm so excited for this football season. Like, I think I really feel deep down in my bones that it's finally going to be the time where I'm not predicting we go to the Super Bowl or anything, but I just feel like the Browns are not going to be the laughing stock of the league this year. Like, we're going to come out and we're going to play competent, good football and we're going to win football games. And I've just been waiting for this my entire life.
Dude, look at the every single piece we added on defense, it's kind of crazy. For one off season, Zadarius Smith, Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris. Don't forget about Juan Thornhill.
Good, John. Good call out, John. Well done, sir.
People kind of quit talking about him after we signed him, but it's not a crazy how much better we got on paper.
On the defensive side of the ball, it's night and day. The Browns defense legitimately has a chance to be a top 10 defense. Like, I would almost be more surprised if we didn't finish inside the top 10 than if we didn't. So another great signing by the Browns. So I'm happy we were able to do that breaking news for you. So like we mentioned in the open, the NFL does this every year now. They've done it the last few years where these players and executives and stuff, they vote on who the best players in the league are. They do the top 100 list. Patrick Mahomes finished at number one the last couple of years. I think that's a given. It was a shoo-in.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I wanted to talk about some of these Browns players and where they ended up on the list. So the first name I needed to talk about was how Joel Bitonio doesn't crack the top 100. How can you be top? I think I'm being generous if I say top 3 at your position, because I think there's a clear argument to be made. He's the best guard in the league. At least
Might be the next gold jacket that we see.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's been the highest graded guard, I think, the last 2 or 3 seasons. I'm pretty sure. And he doesn't miss games. They just, we need you to go play left tackle for a game. You'll move out there and just give up no sacks, no pressures. You know what I mean? Like,
here's your 100% PFF grade too.
Yeah. I don't understand how you can be top 2 to 3 at your position and not be in the NFL top 100. That's mind-blowing to me.
So I can only see one guard that actually made the top 100, and it was Zach Hart. Last time.
Correct. Nope, you're right. Absolutely right. Chris Lindstrom for the Falcons also.
So it's almost like they're disrespecting the entire position.
Quentin Nelson, not even on the list. I know he's getting banged up a little bit, but I feel like Quentin Nelson's really damn good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that's a shot, in my opinion, for him to not even make. He was in the honorable mention, and they released it like in stages, like in groups of 10. And when they released 100 through 91, I believe it was, and they said Joel Bitonio's in the honorable mentions, I was just like, this whole list it's void. It's just, but it's not even in the top 100. I don't even care what the rest of the other 90 are now. So that I thought that was terrible. Maybe the worst one on the list then here is Chubb at 29.
We talked about it.
And it's not so much Chubb. I mean, Chubb at 29 is criminally low. And I understand that the running back position is undervalued. But then you look, and it's not like I could swallow that pill a little more if he was at 29 and he was the highest ranked running back. There's 3 running backs ahead of him. He was just voted by executives and as being the number 1 running back in the NFL. How are you going to have then Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler? Austin Eckler is not better than Nick. They're not even in the same realm. They're not even in the same realm in class of running back. And Josh Jacobs was 12, I believe.
Yeah. Well, Eckler is a good all-purpose back. I mean, I was just the last Browns game I went to, or at least the last 1 o'clock game I went to, I think he rushed for like 130 something against.
Yeah, but
thanks, Joe Woods.
So terrible. But I agree, Nick Chubb should be the highest ranked back, and if Jacobs is at 12, Chubb should be at 11.
It's kind of crazy because, don't get me wrong, Josh Jacobs had a very nice season last year.
Yeah.
But if you look at all their numbers, they're all like within 20 to like 40 yards of each other between Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs. All in the 1500s, between like 1520 to like 1560. So for me, like, I understand that he had a great year last year. Josh Jacobs kind of, blew up on the scene, but I think that you have a greater longevity as far as the ranking with Nick Chubb, but
right.
I think it's all off of last year. It all goes off of last year.
The people that make these lists are way too obsessed with, like, Jonathan Taylor. Everybody that was crazy about him, it was all based off of 1 year of production. And I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying he's not the best back just because he led the league in rushing one time.
Well, here's my thing is, like, they asked Derrick Henry something like, what's it like to be the best running back in football or something like that. And he said, oh, I'm not. That's Nick Chubb. So if Derrick Henry knows that Nick Chubb is the best running back in football, how do these people not know that Nick Chubb is the best running back in football? He has separated himself. He is the best. He's got the speed, the strength, the agility. He leads. He is top 1 or 2 in every major category and every subcategory. Like, it's criminal. He just keeps eating. Underrated.
Yep. John basically said this about another player. He can get into it, but I'll take it for this. If we went to the Raiders and said, we'll trade Nick Chubb and we want Josh Jacobs, who comes out in the loser in that deal?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Raiders would probably have a heart attack if we offer this.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody go, oh, the Browns be the Browns.
Yeah. So there's not another, If we offered Nick Chubb for any other running back in the league straight up, everybody would take that deal and everybody would clown the Browns for taking that deal. Honestly, the only team I can even think of that would maybe say no is maybe Christian McCaffrey.
I knew you were going to say that. I think I'd have to at least think about it, though.
Just because what he does in the pass game, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was crazy to me. That irritated the crap out of me, obviously. And then the other Browns player on this list that needed talked about was Myles Garrett was at 20. He fell 9 spots from his ranking last year. He was tied for second in the league in sacks last year. What? And he was the highest graded edge rusher at a 92.5. And so what did he do to fall 9 spots? You know what I mean? Like, you can't name me 19 other players that are better than Myles Garrett. Like, Max Crosby's ahead of him. I think Max Crosby's really good. He's not Myles Garrett. Okay. Josh Jacobs is ahead of him. Who's better at their position? Is Myles Garrett better at being an edge rusher than Josh Jacobs is at being a running back? I would say yes. Who else is ahead of him here? Who's in this top 10?
Nick Bosa.
Who?
Chris Jones is ahead of him. Yeah. Myles had more sacks than him. Only a half, but still. Micah Parsons is one that I won't argue. He's a game wrecker.
Yep.
So, but there's just some of this stuff was Myles Garrett at 20. There's 19 players better at their position than Myles is at his. He's talked about constantly as being the best, second best, edge rusher in football. So to put him at 20 seems kind of crazy. I think he's going to blow up this year.
Yeah, and you do use the phrase at your position. I'm wondering if the people that made this list, what kind of are they thinking about, like the impact you have on a game, or what? There's so many factors that go into what could be the best.
It was voted on by the players, was it not?
Yeah, it was. So, that I don't know. This list every year, there's some things on this list that drive me a little crazy.
There is one more Browns player on this list also.
Who was it? I missed it.
Zadarius Smith.
Oh, nice.
On this list. Yep. And he is at number 84.
I don't think it's a terrible spot. I won't.
No, he's a very good player.
Yeah.
Very, very good player.
So
he didn't play last year, correct?
Yeah. So we have 2 guys in the top 100 on our defensive line. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Who drives me nuts is having Humphrey from the Ravens on there. That guy is always like 10 holds a game and doesn't even get one. It's bull. Crap. Wanted to say something else, but anyways.
It's okay, man. No judgment.
So, that's that list. I forget what else I was going to say, but I just got too fired up about those things. So, let us know what you guys think of that list. Are the Browns players too low? I know the trolls will say they're too high. I don't care what they have to say. Let us know what you guys think about the Shelby Harris signing. We broke that live. I guess it's not live for you guys. It was live for us. But we're going to wrap this thing up. I think that's pretty much everything. Looking forward to Friday night. Can't wait to see the starters out there playing a little bit. We're getting closer and closer to real football, so I can't freaking wait. Remember, if you want to play fantasy football with us, jointhedawgs.com so you can sign up for one of those fantasy leagues. We have 6 spots left. You don't want to miss out on that. The fantasy leagues are a ton of fun. We give away a lot of merch throughout the year for the fantasy league. So that's awesome. Jointhedawgs.com. Thanks for checking this out. Thanks for supporting the show. Let us know what you guys thought about Hall of Fame weekend. And was anybody there? Tell us what you guys thought about Joe's speech. Until next time, stay safe.
Go Browns.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.